Tiller and sheet in hand, you streak across the waves and into the blue. Like every sailor for the past zillion years, there's only one real goal: harness the wind. Welcome to the exhilarating, and sometimes wet, world of the racing yacht.
Yacht racing is one of the most exciting, fascinating, and dangerous sports on the planet. And the boats involved use the combination of cutting-edge technology and crew skill to create a perfect harmony with nature. And when it all comes together, you're in for the ride of a lifetime. Sailing is the ancient and time-honored tradition of mooching a free ride off the wind. And when it comes to one of the oldest forms of transportation, the sailboat is right up there with the wheel. Now, we have used sailing ships for moving people, moving cargo, catching fish, making war, and now we use them for racing and for relaxing. But what really separates the racing yacht is the way it rewards our relationship with nature. The more you know about wind, the more you understand water, the further and the faster you're gonna go. That's why I'm here at the dock, going nowhere.
I thought yacht racing was all blue blazers and cocktails, but apparently not for Rob and Dan. They're members of the Canadian men's sailing team, and they're out honing their skills in some pretty extreme conditions. But guys, dress code.
I could say it's kind of like an adrenaline junkie's boat. We were probably doing 25 knots today, which is, I don't know how to convert
55 kilometers per hour.
It's got these huge wings, they're called. Flat bottom of the boat and lots of sail area. And what it means is, like, the boat's incredibly light. You get your weight really far out, so you have a lot of leverage. And then there's like 400 square feet of sail. So about the same amount of sail area as like a 30-foot sailboat. Just combine all that together and you just have a ridiculous amount of power.
It's a balancing act most of the time. You can be in very, very light winds, and then all of a sudden, like just today, just these giant puffs would roll through, and you have to be ready to be able to throw yourself out on the trapeze, kind of just react as fast as possible. And it was so windy that most other people just wouldn't go out in those conditions. But in the end, when you get out on a day like today and you're just absolutely ripping, the adrenaline rush of the whole thing makes it all worth it in the end.
Is this your yacht? Well, your yacht looks quite small, doesn't it? This is just a little thing that I use for the...
You know, I think one of the most interesting things about sailboats is that even though we've been using them for thousands of years, it hasn't been until quite recently, really, that we've understood the physics of why they work, of how they work. And it turns out that the key, I say, is to think of your sailboat not as a sailboat, but as an airplane, with one wing above the water and the other wing below it. Ooh, Nemo! When wind travels across the sails, it generates lift, just like in a plane. But without something under the water to resist that force, the boat would just get pushed sideways. So the clever boat builders realized that by adding a wing-shaped keel or centerboard to the bottom of the boat, they could resist the side force and be left with forward motion. So now when the wind moves across the sails, it works to push the boat forward through the water. Whee! Yacht designer Steve Killing has spent more than 20 years wrestling with those basic facts and trying to figure out how to make his boats go faster.
When I was a kid, I actually did a lot of sailing, and it was late high school, thinking about going to university, that I discovered there was a profession of yacht design. It sounded like a dream come true. I think being near the cutting edge is always the exciting part. If you're working on a boat and the whole goal is going fast, you don't worry about the comfort of the sailors, then every decision you make, you're thinking about, can I make it lighter? Can I have less resistance going through the air or the water? So yeah, it totally occupies your mind all the time. So this is an image of the new C-Class Cat I'm working on. It's a project to get ready for a race in Australia 2007. And the competition is between boats that have very few rules. So it's 25 feet long, 14 feet wide, 300 square feet of sail area, and that's all. And unique features of the C-Class are, one, it's very light. So construction is all carbon fiber. Now that we're starting to approach 20, 25 knots, at that speed, the aerodynamics of what's above the water becomes significant. The other very unique thing is the sail, which is not a fabric sail in the traditional sense. It's a wing just like you would use on an aircraft. It's like you cut off the wing off a Cessna, turned it up vertically, and stuck it on the hull. When you look at, have we learned anything over the years that makes a boat go faster? Whenever you're designing, typically there's no brand new innovation. It's just a better combination of devices that you're putting together now to make a faster boat.
Back 800 years ago, guys like Steve would have been everywhere. It was the age of sail, and ships were used to move goods, to make war, and to go exploring. In 1418, Prince Henry of Portugal opened the world's first sailing academy and insisted that sailing be treated as a legitimate science, no less. Boats began to be built in reproducible designs, and guys like this square rigger here, they would have been masters of the day. There was, however, one tiny little problem with the old square rigger, in that the wind really, truly had to be behind them in order for them to go.
Stand by the topsail gear!
Let fly, topsail bunts and clews, haul away, topsail sheets!
Today on board the Playfair, Melina Gianella is the officer in charge of the watch. Ahoy, matey. She's participating in a program that is using the tall ship to teach young people how to sail.
I like the fact that this is one of the few places where, you know, a 16, 17-year-old can be completely in charge. The watch officer is in charge of the entire group, making sure that they know where the boat is, where everyone on the boat is, make sure that everything is running smoothly.
Top it aloft to loose the topsail!
I like these boats. I love the way that they run, I love the way they look. You're using the forces of nature to propel you, and you're not using any complex technology. No, you're quiet, it's just you, the boat, and the water.
The Playfair is what is known as a hermaphrodite brig, and it marks a key moment in ship design. You see, 200 years ago, sailors didn't really understand the concept of airfoils or lift, or shemales for that matter. They just wanted to capture as much of the wind as possible, and so they used these huge square-shaped sails and just kind of hoped for the best. As ships like this began to be used on the Great Lakes, where the wind moves around a lot, things had to change. The tall ships began to combine square sails with gaff rigging, which means hanging the sails behind the mast so they're more easily adjustable to the direction of the wind. Getting rid of those big old square sails was the first step towards a more efficient triangle shape that would make yachts faster and more maneuverable. But late in the 19th century, steam-powered ships were developed and everything changed. Because they weren't dependent on the weather, they were quickly adopted by merchants, and the tall ships were replaced.
Do you know what? A funny thing happened. The sailboat didn't become obsolete. It transformed and became more popular than ever. Is that an iceberg?
The only way to truly understand sailing, to understand the balance between the elements, is to experience it firsthand. So, it's time for me to give it a try. Tori Crowder is a member of the Canadian National Sailing Team, and she has very kindly agreed to give me a sailing lesson.
The first thing we'll do is we're gonna grab, this is called the main sheet.
The which?
Main sheet.
Main sheet?
So this is basically like your gas pedal. This is gonna make you go fast or slow.
So you have to trim this sheet accordingly.
Right, trim that sheet.
Yes.
Right, okay, I got it.
So you trim it according to these yarn things there called ticklers. And if the inside one is luffing, that means sort of dancing like they are right now, that means you have to pull it in more.
So if the tickler is luffing?
Well, luffing or dancing, we call it. One of those things. The sail is usually what luffs, and the tickler dances. Like, see how the green ones are dancing right now?
Yeah, so then I would pull on the main sheet.
Yeah. Now, when the outside one, see how the outside one's starting to dance? Let it out.
Let it out. Now I would trim, right?
Yeah.
I would trim?
Yeah. Now you'd ease your over trim.
I would ease?
Yeah.
I would ease them over trim.
Yeah.
And now I would trim.
Yeah.
So it's always changing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the tauter the sail is in whatever dimensions, the less wind can go into it, right?
Exactly. The less power it has. When I'm sailing, I'm looking at my sail, at my ticklers, and I'm looking at my wind indicator, and I'm looking at the water. And this aluminum thing, that's the boom. You want to always be careful and know where that is.
Did I wear a hockey helmet or something?
I think you'll be okay.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Oh, shoot. Why don't you pick something to
No.
Shut. Yeah. Oh, shoot. You might have to lean out if you think the boat's going to tip over. That's basically what you're going to do with that. You can do the tickler trick.
I'm not looking at anything. I'm not doing a tickler trick.
Now you might have to lean out.
Drop it! Take this damn thing! Come on. Oh my God! Say goodbye! Bye! What happened?
You're doing well?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're doing really well.
Don't lie to me! I've lost the tiller.
Good.
No, you grab hold of it. I haven't practiced that move yet.
You're getting in trouble.
This isn't a sport. It's like some horrible type of torture.
Today, there are as many different types of sail races as there are boat designs. But that wasn't always the case. As the steamships took over the practical work in the late 19th century, the sailboat began a radical transformation. Soon, a new sport emerged: yacht racing. One ship that was key to this evolution? The schooner. With its sleek lines and huge triangular sails, the schooner was very quick and could handle well in high winds. It was designed to bring cargo into port, and bring it in fast. Then in 1851, a group of schooners raced around the Isle of Wight, and the America's Cup was born. It's still considered the holy grail for sailors. It's as big as it gets. The race is a test of boat design, teamwork, and guts.
But the Americans weren't alone in all this. In 1921, a ship designed by a fellow by the name of William J. Ruey was launched from Halifax to compete in the International Fisherman's Trophy. Her name? Ah, come on. You know her name.
The Bluenose was the ultimate hybrid. She took home the Fisherman's Trophy in 1921 and again every year for 18 years. The ship and her crew even worked in the fishing fleet, bringing home record catches for nearly 20 seasons. After World War II, wooden sailing ships didn't fish with the fleet much, but yacht racing had caught hold as a popular sport all over the world. Today there's one kind of yacht race that is pushing the limits of what sailors can do beyond any other. Unlike the schooners, the Around Alone contest sees sailors racing single-handed around the globe. Okay, let's put that in perspective, alright? Nearly 2,000 people have summited Everest, but less than 200 have ever sailed the world alone. Derek Hatfield and his boat, Spirit of Canada, competed in the 2002 race, and now he's gearing up to do it all over again.
What really draws me to single-handed racing is the fact that you alone are responsible for tactics, analyzing the weather, maintaining the boat, making sure it's going fast.
Racing around the world ain't cheap. Derek is funded by sponsors, many of whom are just regular folks who believe he can make it around alone. Get it?
I'm the lucky one or the unlucky one to get to drive the boat around the world, but there's a huge team effort here. Our goal is to have 10,000 names on the hull of people that are on the team.
During the 2002 race, Derek was caught in a hurricane, the boat somersaulted, the mast snapped, and he was damn near killed. After repairing the boat, not only did he finish, but he came in an impressive third.
The first time around, I was just there to get around. I wasn't there to win. Now that we have that experience, I know what to expect. I know what the weather conditions are like. I know what the loneliness is like and how to overcome all of those psychological barriers. Now I can focus on performance of the boat. And this is what you're seeing here today, the beginnings of a brand new state-of-the-art Open 60. So here we are inside the mold for the Open 60. And this is the hull mold. The carbon fiber is put on top of this mold, and then the core is put on, and then the outer skin is put on. And we're inside an oven. This will then be taken up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and cooked for 17 hours. So this is what the boat is actually made out of. It's a core material that's made out of paper, and it's a honeycomb, and then the carbon fiber is laminated on both sides and cooked and post-cured. And this is what you end up with, very light, very stiff panels, and this is what the whole boat is made of. The mast height is 100 feet off the deck. The sails are all carbon fiber. You don't have any spare sails on board, and if you break one or rip one, you have to fix it as you go along. This is the bulb. This is 6,000 pounds of lead, and that keeps the boat upright. The boat is 60 feet long, 19 feet wide. It'll only weigh about 18,400 pounds. Very, very fast. In the Southern Ocean, on the big surfs, on the big waves down there, this boat should do about 38 knots. We're actually going to take some people water skiing behind the boat. It's so quick. They're on autopilot 98% of the time, but you can't be lulled into a false sense of security. If you were to fall off the boat, it will leave you there, of course, and has no loyalty whatsoever to come back and pick you up. The best moment, of course, of the whole race is that final gun and getting to that finish line, having all those people there and getting through the event. That's what becomes addictive.
The Around Alone race might be the most dangerous yachting event, but it's not the only one that attracts attention. Yachts have been racing in the Olympics since 1900. But before you can go and claim gold, you have to qualify. It's race day, and Tori and her teammates are here in Kingston, Ontario, hoping to secure positions on the national team.
Right now I'm training in hopes to qualify for the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. I was actually born in Kingston at the 1976 Olympic trials. My dad was competing in the soloing class with my grandfather and my uncle. And my name was Victoria because they were hoping they were going to be victorious at the Olympic trials, but they weren't. Hans Fogh won and they were second. So I basically had no choice but to start sailing. I just have fun doing it. I think it's a lot of fun. One of the reasons why they made it an Olympic class is it's supposed to be one design and it's supposed to be out of the box. Everybody can sail the same thing. For this regatta, my goal is to win. The fleet will probably be about 4 or 5 boats deep. So those are going to be the girls that I'm going to be watching for. But I mean, you know, anything could happen.
Tori's yacht, the Laser, is light and quick, and it's designed to cut around the markers in the fastest possible time. Competitors will sail up to 5 races in a day, each one taking up to an hour to complete. A good race on the water is like the Indy 500. A bad one? It's like a very damp demolition derby. The one thing the racing yacht, or any sailboat for that matter, can't do is sail straight into the wind. To overcome this, the sailors will tack, turning back and forth so that they're sailing at an angle to the wind. This way, they can reach the markers and make the necessary turns. The better designed your yacht is, the closer to the wind you can sail. As modern and as advanced as these yachts are, a lot of it still comes down to feel, sensing and understanding the wind and water around you in order to push the boat to its limits. After 3 days of racing, Tori placed 5th, enabling her to move on towards the championship races in Brazil and hopefully the Olympics.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor like in the morning. Okay, listen. You know, Tori's not like the only sailor working hard to be the fastest out on the water. Fred Eaton is working on the sail wing catamaran with Steve Killing, and together they are pushing the limits of what racing yachts can do. Now, they have bought one of only 6, count them, 6 sail wing catamarans in the world, and they test it out here. Well, I mean, way out there. You know, further out, not just right here. Anyway, they test it out there, and they use the results they get to help in their own designs.
My interest in racing the C-class catamarans came from when I was a teenager, and they just seemed like the coolest boats you could possibly find. And all my life I'd wanted to sail one. We had an opportunity to get involved a couple of years ago and bought this boat and started our own program. And this boat, being one of the faster boats available, allowed us a really good platform to start developing from as we built our own boat.
The wing is just like an airplane wing, only it's stood up on one end. When we don't need power, we flatten the wing out, and when we do want more power, we make it really curved. This big back part that's bending is a giant flap. When we have the slot here, new wind gets injected through that slot, and it helps this wind stick to the whole wing. So just like your airplane landing, that actually helps keep the wind stuck to the sail all the way across the thing.
The idea behind the sail wing has been around for about 10 years, but they are very expensive to make, and because of the speeds involved, can be dangerous. As a result of the low weight and the streamlined balance between the wind and water, the boat can actually travel faster than the wind that is moving it. That sounds perfect for me. I'll take 2.
If normal sailing is like driving an SUV down the road, this is definitely a lot more like driving a Formula One car. So it's no contest. The boat is so unbelievably fast. It's fun. It's really, really fun just going that fast all the time.
If everything works out, we're trying to sail the fastest boat that's ever been sailed around a race course, and that's very exciting to me as a sailor. How do you think I'm doing, Tori?
I actually think you're doing pretty good for a beginner. Trimming. Tack here.
I tack out of here. The racing yacht has come a long way, but for me it still comes down to the simple quest to be in harmony with nature. Do that and go really, really fast. And to stay upright, right?
Yes, of course.
It's faster upright.
Yep.
Okay, can we go home now?
Yes. Okay, tack.
Okay, tack.